What's up, guys? Infantry attacking back at it with another video. We're going to show you guys how to play Hoi 4 in under 10 minutes. So this is for all of you beginners out there who just downloaded the game. We're going to go over the really simple basic mechanics, what to do, and we're going to jump right into it. But before that, make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Let's get right into it. So you want to start out after loading up the game, click single player, new game, and then January 1st, 1936. Select scenario. Then from here, Italy is a really good starter country, so just press Italy, select country. It's got a little bit of everything. It's a good way to start. Now from here, difficulty, you got civilian, recruit, regular, veteran, and elite. Regular is just a regular version. If you do recruit, you're going to get more buffs, so you're going to get a little bit better like political power. You're going to army, fuel consumption. You're going to plus a lot of things. Civilian, you're going to get a lot of bonuses too. Veteran and elite, they're going to cap you, so it's going to be much harder. So regular is a good way to start. Let the game begin. Once again, Italy is a really good starter country. So start out, you want to highlight by left clicking over all of your troops, and you're going to left click on the right plus sign down at the bottom of your screen, and it's going to assign all 19 divisions. From here, press click to assign, and here you're going to get a list of generals. So the skill level, so this general is skill level 4, this one's 2. You want to go with a higher skill level depending if these troops are fighting a war or not. And sometimes some generals won't have, you'll run out of generals with high skill levels. So these troops won't be fighting a war yet, so we're going to put them with a level 1 general. But where we will be fighting a war is down in Ethiopia, which is down right here. So let's assign these troops. But before that, make sure you assign a field marshal also, which is the left plus button. Click that. Click to assign. Once again, skill level. We'll just go with the level 2 here. And what you're going to do is these troops are going to be fighting a war down here in Ethiopia. So left click drag over these troops. Left click on the right plus sign. That will assign a general. Click to assign. We're going to go with the level 4 general. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to click on the general. And then you want to draw a front line. So this is a front line. Click the front line button. Right click and you're going to drag across Ethiopia. And that's going to draw a front line. So your troops are going to hold that position. Then down next to front line, right next to it, is offensive line. Click that. And then this is the offensive line. This is where your troops are going to head to. So you're going to right click and drag here. So this will get your troops to go right to the capital. And that's an offensive line. Now, you want to do the same thing in the southern part. And same thing. Right click, add new general. Click to assign. Add that general, and then once again you want to draw that front line, which is right here, and then you can also draw the offensive line, which is going to be right here. So just like that, that's going to be your offensive line and front lines. Pretty simple. So when the war starts and you unpause the game, you're going to click to activate, and your troops will start pushing into Ethiopia, and you'll go from there. From here, we're going to start with national focus. So click on your country's flag, and it's going to say select the national focus. And this is your Italy national focus tree. So you're going to start with Ethiopian war logistics because you're fighting a war in Ethiopia. But basically, depending on what you want to do, you just read through these, and it'll give you certain buffs or caps or maybe minuses. But you just read it before you do it. So we might go down to industrial effort next. Just read what it's going to give you, and then keep going down the tree. But definitely start with this to start off because you're starting a war. Once again, just read what the national focus says, then you can do it if you want to do it or not. From here, you have laws and government. I'm going to keep this real simple. Limited laws and government. This is conscription law. So we're at limited conscription, so you're going to have a limited manpower, which is up here. So you can only produce a certain amount of infantry units and stuff along those lines. If you want to get more manpower, you can go to extensive conscription. And if you really run out of manpower and you're at a total loss, you can do all adults serve. So depending on what you need, but extensive conscription is pretty good. And you need political power. So political power is up here, and you get that over time. So basically over time, you'll get enough political power to choose this. Next, you have limited exports. This is limited exports. You can do free trade, export focus. Just read what it says before you do it. So export focus will give you plus 10 construction speed and 5% research speed. You guys get the point. So this is all about trade. So it depends on what you want to do. Just make sure you read it before you do it. Same thing here. mobilization laws, civilian economy, war economy, early mobilization. I recommend war economy. That way, most of the time you're going to be at war in this game, but if you're not, you can do partial mobilization. But when you're at war, you really want to be at war economy. That's where it's going to be your bread and butter right there. From here, you can click to add political advisors. You guys can just make sure you read them because they're going to give you certain buffs and minuses. So make sure you read them before you assign these. You can also go to research and production. Right, this is a tank designer. This is going to get armor research speed plus 15%. And obviously, you just want to go through these. You want to read them. They're going to give you certain buffs. So make sure you are assigning these over time, obviously, because political power, you're not going to get that too fast, but you'll get it over time. And the military staff, same thing. Make sure you read these before you assign them. We're not going to go too in depth, but just make sure you read them before you assign these using your political power, which is right here. Obviously, the game hasn't started, so we have 0. We're going to go down the list here, this taskbar here. We have decisions. Real simple. Just make sure you read what they say before you make the decision. So this is naval treaties. So this is going to limit the amount of navy or ships we're producing or having. So if you make sure you just read them, they're going to have certain pluses and minuses, and it's also going to cost political power to make these decisions. So make sure you read them before you make these decisions. I wouldn't worry too much about them if you're just first starting. Research, you're going to start with a few things. So this is going to unlock new technology for your country. I like to start with support weapons, research that. I then go to engineering, which is that, and then go electronic mechanical engineering. Then I like to go to industry and go production and basic machine tools. And these are just the basic 4 I like to start with, and then construction. And you want to make sure you're always researching something. You want to stay in the year that you are in. So we're in 1936. So you want to make sure everything is up to date. So you might want to research this. And you want to go through each and every one of these sections. If you want to produce, or if you want to make a new tank, you might want to research the L6 or the heavy tank. Just make sure you read them before you research them, and make sure you're caught up in your year. So 1939, that's a little bit ahead of our time, so we don't want to research that. But in 36, we want to research the anti-tank gun or the artillery. So make sure you're reading it before you research it. You have land doctrines, just read them. If you want to research planes, you can do this. Look here, research one of these. But these are the 4 basic ones that you can start with. We'll go next to diplomacy, which I wouldn't worry too much as a beginner. But we're going to go right to trade, which is a little more important. Trade, you're going to be using civilian factories, which we'll get into a little bit later. But basically, you want everything to be in the green, and that will mean you're in positive for that resource, so you're positive in it. So we're negative in rubber, so because it's red, you want to click on rubber, and you want to look through here, and you wanted to trade with one of the countries. So click on that country you want to trade with, and then press send. And that will eventually, when we start the game, get you more rubber. Also, you might want some more chromium, so you go here, you want to trade with this country, right? Send, and that will use convoys, which are right here, convoys, which are ships you're producing, right there. Now, from here, we're going to go to construction, and what we're going to be producing is constructing is military and civilian factories, right? So civilian factories produce or make military factories, and the civilian factories also allow you to trade. Military factories will produce weapons and infantry equipment, stuff like that. So construction, right? Click on civilian factories. I recommend producing those. And basically, they're going to be green areas. You click on them until they become blue, and that's the max out. So you want to produce some military too. So same thing. You want to click. Once it becomes blue, it's maxed out, and that's the max you can produce. So as you can see here. From here, you can look around here, and mess around with this stuff. This is air base. You can build that stuff over time. Just look at it, and it'll tell you what you're building. From here, production. We have 10 open military factories. So you want to produce more infantry equipment. Right here, where it says we're at a deficit, we want to put an extra factory on it. And maybe support equipment, we want to put some more factories on that. Just click right there. And basically, if you want to produce a different type of infantry equipment, you can click here. Or tank, if you want to produce light tanks, you can click this. If you want to produce some fighters, for example. So interwar fighter, you click on that, and you'll start producing it. And you want to put some more militaries factories on it. Now, you want to move these around. So if I want to make my fighter the most important thing, so my country focuses on producing that, move it to the top. From there, make sure you have all of your military factories filled out. From here, recruit and deploy. Really simple. When you want to train a division of infantry, you click this. You're going to train it's going to train you a unit of infantry. Location, just set it somewhere. It doesn't matter at first, but it will eventually later. So continue on. You want to edit your infantry. Just click edit. So this is our division of infantry. From here, if you guys, this is combat with 12. It's not exactly the best. You want to go 20 width, or later in the game you'll go 40 width. But you just simply click to add. You want to add some artillery. Press artillery. Add that, and then from here you want to add another artillery and then an infantry division, and that will get you combat with 20, which is a very strong infantry. From here, you're going to need to save this template. You're going to need army XP, and that's going to just get you're going to earn that by fighting in wars and stuff like that. So obviously you're not going to start out with 500, but you might get that over time. Also make sure when you produce, this doesn't have enough manpower or equipment to train as of right now. So make sure you're producing enough infantry equipment. So as of now, we can't produce this. And also, if you ever need to deploy your troops early, if you're in a rush, just press this button right here, and you can deploy your troop early. From here, logistics, it just gives you an overview of everything. It tells you what you need to produce more of, what you're almost like in debt of, what you have enough of. Just read this. If it's in red, it's probably not good. You're in the negatives. If you're green, then you're perfectly fine. So those are the basics of the taskbar up top. Then we're going to go into Air Force. So real simple, head down here. This is an Air Force base. This is just an example. Anything with the airplane is an Air Force base. We have 0 planes here, 0 planes there, but here we have 52. If you ever want to add planes to your Air Force base, just click on this. It'll press Add New Air Wing, and you can add Air Force to that airbase. If you ever want to move them, you can click and you can right click to another airbase, which is just an example. But we have a war going on down here in southern Italy. So basically, to get your planes to attack there, you want to right click, and this will draw an arrow right here. Then you want to go up top, and you'll have pilot exercises. You don't really need that, but what you do want is you want air superiority, close air support. You want to click all these buttons depending on what you want to do. Interception, obviously, strategic bombing. You want to click all of that stuff. Just read what it says, and basically that's what your Air Force will do. Getting air superiority in a war will really help out. And then we also have the Navy, which we'll get into right now.
So basically the thing you want to do if you're Navy is you just basically want to get your big ships together and you want to hide them. Because it's just, you just get trashed by the British. So basically you want to put all your subs together, right? And then you want to put all your big floating ships together, and then you want to hide them. One of the things you want to do is you always want to quickly assign an admiral. Same thing as generals. Higher skill level, the better. Few things left, right? Few things left is doctrines, right? So I'm just going to tell you what the best doctrines are. Eventually, you're going to get to research. Just research superior firepower. For Navy, doesn't matter. Just research this stuff. And air research this. Go down here, right? Few more things. Make sure you have supply for these divisions, because these divisions aren't producing anything, right? There's nothing. And it will create a bigger deficit. So make sure you have a lot of rifles. For Italy, make sure you have naval bombers, right? You want to have a lot of naval bombers that cover your fleet. Your big fleet right here, you want to keep it in hiding unless you want to do a naval invasion, right? You want to keep it like maybe in this port, right? Maybe take it up here and just hide it. If your convoys are getting destroyed, which they might, which is basically this stuff, you want to make a lot of these, right? Convoys are basically, they move your trade around if you want to trade across seas, basically. And it's very important to have a lot of them. Thing you want to do with subs is usually you want to do convoy rating, boom, 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 right click. If you want to send your fleet out, you want to basically send them out if you want to do a naval invasion, basically, right? So the way you naval invade is you assign, you click invasion order, right? And then you go boom, and then you accept, then you go here, and then you go naval invasion support, boom. And then it should go after 30 days. Start a battle. Dirt simple, right? We're basically going to hit play, and you're going to hit this check mark. Done, right? Green is good. And make sure to make oil. Research this stuff. But once you get enough political power, the thing you want to do is you always want to hit justify war goal, and then after a certain amount of days you'll be able to declare war. But be careful, because the country might guarantee it, like Britain and France. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Infantry Attacking. Peace out.